I'm not going to get too much into like City's tactical setup right now, but what I want to just show is that normally let's imagine that teams are defending in like a 4-4-2 kind of a shape, right? And this in a low block, what they're trying to do is they're trying to cut down space for the opposition defense, right? So now what you would do as an opposition team is that when you have your forward line, and let's just say there are some midfielders over here, and again, this is not Manchester City, but just in general, what you would try to do is your forward line, even if it's a low block or if they're up the pitch, would try to make forward runs. And you see Haaland is here most of the time, right? He's offside. Now, the reason for that is not because he's lazy. It's because these defenders can't go all the way forward over here, right? Because they know if this guy is right behind them, they are kind of like always thinking of him. So when a forward makes a run, these guys have to react, right? Now, what that helps City with is that you see this gap which is opening up between the defensive and the midfield line. That is where Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne and City's real technical players, they operate. They live off these half spaces over here. And again, what City do is they normally keep complete width, right? So they have Doku on one side who's always going to hug the touchline to make the things as wide as possible. So that spreads the team out even more if they have to cover there and makes more space in these midfield pockets. What happens then when the forward line lacks impetus? What happens when they stop making these runs? Because that is what happened with Manchester City. You check the data as well, the amount of forward lines which the forward runs which they're making has reduced drastically this season. The reason that happened is because City, if they push too many people forward, are now completely vulnerable out back. Now you've seen teams across the first half of the season and even the second half of the season completely exploit City's backline because they always had one insurance policy who was there to stop the attacks. That was Rodri. Tactical fouling was a big part of his game. He made more than twice the number of fouls than any other City player last season, in the 24-25 season. So he's very smart in the way he's positioning himself to make sure that if City do lose the ball, which is not often, they have like 64-65% possession, but when that's there, the direct threat of a counter-attack is blocked by Rodri. You remove this piece from the puzzle, and that is a big reason why City are now not able to commit so many people up front in those forward runs, because then you have opposition who are able to basically attack from the other side. Another red card for them. Now, the issue over here is that you need your forwards to, when you lose the ball, to be extremely aggressive in tackling and pressing the opposition team. That is another area where City have drastically reduced their output. Okay.